Hello, good evening. Let me stop sharing because I always forget to do that button there. Let's spotlight you for a moment or two and myself, Robert. And that way, then I forgot to do that as well. We'll say good evening to everyone first while people are jumping into the room. Keep an eye out on the box that pops up, Robert, if someone needs admitting.
Roger
So
Dodger.
been one of them interesting weeks. Been busy as always. Got some good stuff coming up. But tonight we're talking about the rank and rent model. I did some research using AI on it, Robert, and you're not aware of this. I haven't had a chance to talk to you. And I typed into AI, does the rank and rent model still work? Now, if you are someone who's got some sites already ranking, absolutely fantastic. What the issue now is that Google's AI is getting cleverer and cleverer, like AI is, right? And I don't know if you've noticed, but if you own a fake GMB, it's no long. It's going to be dropping out of the free pack because it can tell. The system can tell automatically if it's fake or not. How does it tell? Well, I was watching a video on this, and it's interesting. Google matches the Google profile up to the address. So that's the reason why Google's been doing this new thing with their GMBs, where you've got to be outside the address with the company logo up, and you got to do videos and all that sort of stuff, and you've got to be on it. And that's why GMBs are getting harder. And in their terms and conditions, if you own a fake GMB now and they find out, they close it down. Now, what's the danger of this? Well, if you've got clients' GMBs linked to the same account, it can damage them too. So how do you fix it? Well, what you do, you set a separate account up and you move all your fake, if your customers onto another account. If you're a manager on those accounts, it's a pain. Move your GMBs over to a different account. Transfer them away from your account. Protect yourself, okay? Do mass page websites still work? Well, guess what? Google's getting clever again, right? And we've said this all along, really, with mass page websites. If your site is the same content across all of the pages, which products like Magic Page plugin, products like Page Generator Pro, people, if you get lazy and it's identical content across all the pages now, Google's picking up on this, and then it'll assume that you're running a rank and rent website. And then AI looks at your website because you're seeing all these mass pages all identical apart from the location, keyword times location. And then it goes, okay, I'm going to derank that. I'm going to take it out. I'm no longer going to allow it, And so as time goes on, I've noticed some of my rank and rent websites have dropped down the page. Now, how am I counteracting this? Well, let me tell you, right? There's a few things I'm doing. One, I'm actually looking after client sites slightly more than my own. But what I do is I have satellite sites around still, but I put my client information on those sites instead. That way, then Google may see multiple sites around. Google allows that, so you don't have a problem where you're putting that company data onto there. But if I've just noticed a change in the industry, and I don't know if you noticed in our training, but we've been going down a different route because of AI, and that is selling services to local businesses. Inside of the training now, you've got the course that allows you to use AI to respond to Google reviews. Follow that training inside of AI lead generation automation school, and you'll see how to do that. There's a couple of bits of training missing still, a few linky bits which I'm putting together, and I'm working with somebody to go over that content to make sure we haven't missed anything, because sometimes we do miss things. As you guys are all members, if I've missed something in the training, please let me know. Drop me a note, a message in school, or pop it on the wall in school and say, "Oh, we've missed this," or "You've missed that," or "I don't understand this." Because with your input, there's so much to training at times that I do miss things. That's the reason why you guys are going over that training, and it's a very easy product to sell. It really is. That training there, if you understand how to do cold emailing, if you understand how to do any sort of outreach, which is 80% of your time, you're meant to be reaching out to new clients. Don't be scared. What's the worst that can happen? I'll tell you what the worst that can happen. They can say no. Right? Don't be scared. Oh, no, I'm not interested. Okay. Never mind. Next person. Guess what? If you phoned up this week 50 people, I bet one of them will go, wow, yeah, I'm interested in that service. I'm interested in how you can manage my reviews for me. Go to local business groups, join Chamber of Commerce meetings, join Facebook groups about local business, and just say to people, look, do you own a Google My Business listing? Would you like to move up the search engines? Because I've tested this system, and it actually pushes you into the free pack because Google sees you're offering value. Now, can people do this themselves? Well, they can, because they can go onto their GMB and they can reply back every time a message comes in. But guess what? Mr. Plumber, Mr. Electrician, the cake shop, the local fish and chip shop, do they bother? No. Do they have time? Maybe not. And the thing is with this, you can sell this as a service, a very easy service, monthly, discount it down. Say it's normally $500 a month, and at the moment it's $97. Because guess what? I've been testing this like mad, and using OpenAI, the latest model. I'm hardly spending anything on the credits, so the system works. The system runs by itself. You've seen me demo Kruko and Fish Bar. Today they had a bad review. Guess what? It responded with a positive note back at them. So when people go and look at those Google reviews, they go, well, all right, that person was unhappy about the chips. They were soggy. Never mind. Because there's loads of other reviews and they are responding. They must love their customers. I'll go in and give it a try. That doesn't put off those people. So this is the exciting thing with this, is it's a service inside that you've got inside a school. Follow it and sell it. Spend your time doing outreach. I'm going to ask a question in the chat, right? Put one in the chat if you feel building a fresh rank and rent site from start to finish can take some months to get into Google, right? But two, if you don't think it takes very long. I'd just like to see the people in here. So Richard thinks 2 doesn't take long. Roger doesn't think it takes long. I was on a call this week with someone who's been using Magic Page plugin for the last 12 months. They spent $5,000 in that program, and to this day they've not made any money. Right now, I'm going to say to you this. Right? Do people search inside of search engines on their phones? I'm looking for a plumber in location, physically in your phone. Some people do, but the majority of people, including myself, if I'm looking for a plumber, I'm going to search 24/7 emergency plumber. That's all I'm going to type in. All right. So next time you're out and about in your location where your rank and rent site is, go to that location, put your mobile phone on, right, and do a search in that location for your service without the location word in it, and see where you're at. Because most people you'll find currently will not be found on their mobile phones, right? Without lots of good SEO, good content, good backlinks, and also not only that, Google has to believe you're a real business. Over the coming months, AI is going to change Google in a big way. And I'll tell you why. Google is only interested in money. If you're not paying to be at the top, ask yourself this question. Checkatrade in the UK, on average, they're on page 1 of Google most of the time. Why? Because they pay Google money to be there. Plain and simple. So if you go to your location and do a search on your phone or on a device that you're not necessarily logged into Google with, so use your partner's phone or a tablet, anything you're not logged in your profile on, and do a search for the main keyword and see where you rank. Now, this particular person's in the USA that I was speaking to, I got her to do that. The very next day she came back to me, she went, I've been trying this for 12 months, and my site's. And by the way, she didn't build the site; someone else did for her, right? And she spent a lot of money having it built. And unfortunately for her, she did that. The site didn't show up. It was all the proper businesses showing up. So with AI coming in more and more, it can become more and more difficult to rank a site. So for months on end, myself and Robert have been preaching this one thing: build a site and just rent it out. Don't worry about ranking it. Find businesses that do not have websites and say, "Oh, I've got one here for you." If you can change the business name and details on it quickly, then rent the site out to them. Then you can work on a bit on pushing up, because guess what? You're working on a site you own that is also got that local business details in. If they stop paying, you take their details off. Directory sites still work really well.
Steve,
Put
let me interrupt
citations
you
to
for
a
a second.
website really well. And on a final note, and then I'll let Robert take over because I need a drink. It's just to say, right, selling services to local businesses that are quick and easy to set up, I think is the way forward. I've just taken on some new clients this week, or last week, sorry, because we're at the end of this week, end of the week. And I won them over by just doing outreach to them and saying, "Hey, are you responding to your Google reviews?" No. Well, guess what? I can supply a service. I don't tell them it's AI. I say, "My team, you make me a manager of your profile. There's a video on how to do it. And then me and my team will manage your reviews for you in a positive way. Have you got an example? Yeah. I'll show you Crucan and Fish Bowl. Brilliant. Yeah, I'll sign up." And yes, I've had people say no, but I've had a few people go yes. And how long does it take me to set up? Once I built one, it took me about half an hour to set the next one up. And guess what? I leave it running. I will, at the first few days, first couple of weeks, I monitor the responses just to make sure I'm happy with what it's doing. And I also get the email coming to me anyway when a review's left, so I can read what it is. You want to take over for a bit, Robert?
Well, what I want to say, first of all, first and foremost, right, is we all want to do the right things. And when we're missing the details of how and when and what to do, and we're just being sold the dream sometimes by people, it's hard to know what to do. And if we don't all know this story by now, then we haven't spent enough money online. But most all of us that are in this call right now know this, that it's a matter of putting all the pieces together and following a system and making sure you're doing all the right things. But as we said all along, the internet is changing at the speed of light, and we have to either stay with it or fight it. And we, Stephen and I, come on here and tell you this is what's going on, rather than doing the smoke and mirrors to say you should be doing this, this, and this, right? To sell stuff. We're not in here every day selling stuff. We're in here trying to share knowledge and experience and things of what's going on. Because the AI information age came in quick. It came in really fast. But it's been out there since the 1950s. And all of a sudden, boom, 75 years later, it hit and hit with a passion. But we have to look at what is our business going to run off of? Because people are still going to need websites. People are still going to need Google My Business listing help. They don't know what to do online. So we got to come in here and give them something simple that makes sense to them. And if we're not all aware of this, I'll just say it, that Google as a search engine wants to give a result. But Google is flavoring all of their results to what makes them the most money. They're not the only search engine out there, but they happen to be one of the biggest. And the real estate that they're allowing to show up in a search result is getting smaller and smaller and smaller for the average organic website. It's more about the Google properties that are always ranking. So without proper research, without proper structure, we're not going to rank, right? We have to have that knowledge to do the right things. And you should be paid for your knowledge. You should be paid for doing the right things for your customers. But let's go in and give the customer something that's a quick and easy answer that makes you passive income, doing certain things for them, like the Google reviews, like the prospecting genie. There's going to be certain things for different businesses that you guys want to do. But at the end of the day, we have to have that knowledge, have that simple win, and then sell them the website, then sell them the location pages as they want to grow, right? For those of us that are doing rank and rent and it's working for us, you keep going. You got the foothold on it, keep it going. But like Stephen said, Google is looking at what's been put out there. They're always looking at things that are legit versus things that are not, and they'll shut it down. And sometimes, it's as simple as I used to say it like 10 years ago. Google will never admit that you could do damage to somebody else's websites with negative backlinking, right? So if you had a competitor and all of a sudden you put up a bunch of crap links to the competitor, you would hurt their ranking so that you could get ahead, right? They would never say you could do that or couldn't do that, but it was being done all the time. It's not ethical, but sometimes in business, that's what people will do. It doesn't matter about being ethical. It matters about making money. And that's what some businesses would go towards. I'd rather do it ethically and know that I'm doing the right things than to do it that way. But if you think about it, that was done for years. So that being said, the whole point of the conversation that Stephen was getting at is constantly learning and understanding and moving forward with the things that work, the things that we can do right now for local business. Because remember, when they come into this auditorium of websites, they're clueless. Most of them absolutely have no idea where to start, why to start, what is AI. All they can think of is the Terminator coming after them, right? They have no idea what artificial intelligence is. So at the end of the day, let's pick some things that are already in the school classroom and work with them. And we have to make the connections doing the outreach. That's our best answer. It goes back to old school, guys. Talking to somebody one-on-one, like Stephen does, who go to the coffee shop, will pick up clients faster than sometimes email campaigns because they don't get to talk to you. They need that know, like, and trust as soon as possible. And email doesn't always give know, like, and trust. Get involved in other communities, other groups, other things that are in the community. And that's the know, like, and trust factor. Like there's no tomorrow. Just talking one-on-one with a few people can snowball the whole thing.
What's great? My local coffee shop, it was closed for the first couple of weeks of January. It reopened the start of this week, actually, because they're training to do food. And I nipped in to say hello, bought a coffee, got chatting to them. I've been helping them with their GMB as well. They're loving it. And I said to them, how do you like to get your GMB review shows for free? And they said, how do I do that? I said, just recommend for local businesses to me. If they sign up, I'll give you yours for free. Well, I've already won one client already because they're so chuffed with me. I've done some other bits and pieces for them on their GMBs. And so I won another client thanks to them. And they're telling the people they know about the service on their GMB. And yeah, I mean, they're not getting that many reviews up, but they're still relatively new. That they didn't have a GMB until I told them to get one. So they can get seen. And they asked me, how do I get ranked? So plain and simple, you need to make sure that you're getting you responding to your reviews. And he said, I haven't got time for that. I said, well, I'll set something up for you. If you love it, you can pay me for it. If you don't, we'll take it off. He loved it. And he said, great. He's got a 30-day trial. And I said, if you get me some customers, you can have it for free. So he's loving that. And the fact is that as customers go into their coffee shop, he's going to get chatting to them. He'll know what businesses people run. The lady who I've just signed up is a lady who does dog grooming. So she phoned me and went, the coffee shop mentioned you. I'm really busy. I want my reviews looked after. What can you do for me? Now, I've told her that normally I charge 500 quid a month. But I said, but for the first 6 months, it's £97. She went, brilliant. I'll sign up now. Now, when we get to the end of that 6 month period, I'll then say to you, happy with the service. If I know she's made, dog groomers do quite well, so hopefully she'll just pay the full whack. If she queries it and argues it, guess what? I'll do it at 50% off. Keep her happy, you know. Fact of the matter is that service ain't going to cost me any more to leave it running. So that's the advantage with this. So it's all down to how you look at this yourselves, you know. And we're going to switch over now to the inner circle because it's getting closer to the hour. Anybody wants to come and join, head to AIleadGenerationAutomation.com and you can find out more about how to join. In the meantime, we're going to stop the live. We're going to go just to our members only. I'm going to talk more about this inside. And but we've got some exciting stuff coming up as well for you members. So that's awesome. Anything else you want to finish on to the live to the channels, Robert, before I press
You
stop?
know, as we usually say, follow your passion. Find somebody that you can relate to, someone that you can get your answers to your questions. That's the hardest thing. We see it over and over and again still, where people just selling stuff online are not always your answer. Your answer is someone that you can communicate with, that you can go forward with your business and what you want to do in your business on what makes sense. And building websites, building tools for local business. Maybe that isn't what you want to do, but that's what we do and that's what we focus on. But at the end of the day, you know, find your passion. And if it's online marketing of some sort, you gotta constantly plug in because it is changing very quickly.
Yeah, one of our members, I'm sure Lane won't mind me mentioning his name. He's built himself a directory site, all right, and he's in a position now to do that cold outreach and start reaching out to people. And I'm super excited for him because you know, with any anything you offer, if you don't tell people about it, how are you going to make any money? If you keep your mouth shut, you know. And I'll just give this final thing. Years ago, when I was younger, I always wanted to work in radio. And I had a great career for 10 years in radio. But I did hospital radio at first. And I thought, oh, someone will find me. It wasn't until a friend of mine said to me, you want to make it in radio, you've got to send out at least 10 demos a week to the stations all the time. So I sat down and created a bunch of demos, pumped them out to different stations, got turned down a lot, got told I was too young. But when I was a bit older in my late 20s, I started doing it again, sending out CDs at the time, pumping those out to all the stations, and I found someone who wanted me. And I've worked with them for a few years, and I switched stations, and I had a good career in it. It was great fun. You know, now UK radio has been killed because it's all been networked, you know, and there's younger people than me that have jumped in and just done the same thing every day. But the point of that was that I did the outreach and took the advice. Yeah. And anything you do, 80% of your time, you need to be doing outreach. If you're not, people will not find you, people will not follow you, and people will not buy your services, which is what you need to be doing. Don't be scared. That's the thing. Right. All the YouTube channel and Facebook channels, we'll see you next week. We're just going to talk to all our people.